So give us the tea. What are some common financial mistakes that you see that prevent organizations from winning grants?
Sure. Yes. And I may end up sounding like a broken record throughout this because it's really, it might feel overwhelming, but it really is a basic formula.
Okay.
Um, for
I like
me,
formulas.
yeah, for me, the number one thing is an underdeveloped budget, where it's just very vague and it doesn't tell the story. The budget needs to tell the story as effectively as your narrative tells the story.
Mhm.
And if you can do that, you are cut above. I hear all the time, this is a place where people lose, is in the
Yeah.
budget. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you can't translate that into the dollars that you're getting, then you are not presenting you're not providing enough information to make the funder confident.
Hmm.
So how do you really develop that budget? You really want to make sure that you have thought through all of the costs that it takes to be
Mm.
successful. I don't think funders like when you come back and say, well, I didn't get there because I didn't have X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Now, granted, these things come up all the time, especially in new programming where you have not these unintended expenses and the shifts in the way in which you're managing your programs. But particularly if these are programs that have been in place or are basic things, well, we can't give you the most robust outcome because we didn't think about the exact process and what it
Hmm.
takes to get those. Having those reflected in your budget really conveys that you understand what it is that you're trying to do across the board and across all functions. And I'm going to sound like part of your team, but really clarity around how those funds are going to be tracked, managed, and um, evaluated. You know, at,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what is the outcome metric? I mean, just as a for-profit company wants to see a return on investment, so does your funder. And that's not in terms of profit, but that's in terms of impact. And so you have to be able to really show that in your budget that you have all the things in place. Um, and again, a disconnect in the budget between what you said in the grant narrative and what the budget is conveying. So if the budget is vague, like I said, number one, and it doesn't really align with every single thing you said you're going to do,
Mhm.
then that is number one red flag that your team is not on the same page.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, and then again, I'm just going to say, showing that readiness, understanding the controls and the allowability that you have to have in place. But spend as much time on developing the budget and aligning it with what you said you're going to do as you do in writing the mission side of things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I can see where when you build the budget, and if you build the budget with that kind of action in mind, it does kind of put you in, it makes the writing the narrative a lot easier
Mhm.
because if you start with the budget first and then create the narrative, you're gonna have that alignment. I think it's a lot harder to kind of just dream it up and then try to back into the actual budget. So I think that's really um it's something we don't often think about. We think of grant writing, not
Yes,
grant
yes,
budgeting,
yes,
right? They don't call
yes,
it grant budgeting,
yes,
but it should be.
yes.
It should be
It
grant
is.
budgeting
Yes.
and then add the writing on top of it.
Yes. One more point there, Sherry, and it goes back to like your cost of success or
Hmm.
outcome measurement that you talked about. As you grow, that amount is changing.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand, this is what it costs to do this, but where are the trigger points for when I need more people or
Yeah.
when I need another building? If you don't think about how all these things are aligning. So, your point to building the budget first, I should have said it. Like, that's great. That thinking it through in terms of what it costs and all the pieces you need really is makes writing the grant
Yeah.
so much more effective. And it informs your grant writer if they're different people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think it's not much different than the experience, you and I have been through where when you're whether you're writing a grant for um, philanthropic dollars or you're pitching investors to invest, and grow a technology company, there's a lot of the similar principles that are on the foundations of both of those. So definitely, I can empathize.